In England, the common law, which is really what impacted colonialists here, told women, you are next. Men are head. You try to talk like that to a traditional woman. What are you talking about there? When did I become a neck?
And which head?
And which head? Feminists made a lot of sense, the feminists who are suffering over these Western cultures. So this idea of men just telling women, you have to do this, I have to give you this, you have to report, it's not African. They had a little hut where they had to go do Ngwiko, meaning romance. You touch everywhere, but not south in the center.
Wait, what?
Yes, it's called Ngwiko.
Who is touching you?
The men, the same age group. They can touch you anywhere that will make them feel better, but never down there. So this whole idea was stimulation and towing you, teaching you discipline. The first menstruation of a girl, the father, the mother was a part of it among the Kikuyu. Until she finishes that menses, nobody, even the father, doesn't go far away. He stays there. When she finishes, the father slaughters a goat and invites all the people to thank God that their daughter is fertile.
Wait, what?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a question I've seen being asked. Why is it that if you are a woman and you part ways with your husband, you even change your child's name?
No matter what had gone on between you and your husband, don't ever try to change that name. Let the child know that is your father. We are no longer friends, but that's your father. A man who is man enough will not feel reduced by washing dishes. Those who have proper manhood will tell the woman, rest. I'll do those dishes. Who is a man to only come, take off the jacket and put on the feet on the chair, and the woman has been also out working? There is no...
It doesn't make sense.
There's no justice in that home.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of LNN. My name is Lynn Ngugi and it gives me great joy to have my guest today because I've always wondered, where did this name feminism come from? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Should I identify myself as a feminist? What are the pros and cons? And even before all these words came about, who really was I and who am I? My guest today will be able to take us through our history, especially as an African woman, so that by the end of today, we can all know how to identify ourselves, so we don't keep existing without knowing who we are. And I'm really happy that we continue having these conversations together. You guys have really been incredible. You've given us great feedback. You've given us great insights, and honestly, we want to continue bringing you these thought-provoking conversations because I know we are building ourselves one story at a time. I always say the greatest gift we have in this life is our ability to learn and relearn. So although sisi tumepotea kidogo, I know we can always come back and we can always unlearn things and we can relearn and learn new things. I'm about to let my guest introduce herself so that she can walk us through this conversation. But in case you are watching this from diaspora and you want to send your money back home, you already know what to do. Why don't you try using TapTap? It's very fast, it's reliable, and also it has great rates. And if you use my promo Lynn, you're able to get a discount on the numbers that are showing on your screen right now. And also to say thank you to my team for being incredible people and putting this together. You know what I say, you get to see me in front of the camera, but it takes an entire team to put this together. So shukran sana team LNN. And now, of course, without further ado, please allow me to let my guest today introduce herself. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Looking very beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I can't, it's not merited. The egg and the sperm that came together is what you see. I cannot go on without thanking you truly for inviting me.
Yes.
And I want to pour libation, the African libation from ancestors in this place that you have really created and taught so many of us a lot of new things.
Thank you.
It's a success. And looking at you, you're my granddaughter, maybe you're my daughter.
Yes.
But I feel so proud of you. And this is why I really thought this is godly given moment. I thank you.
Oh.
My name is Dr. Wanjiru Kamau. I'm going to be 84 in January. And this is a journey that, personal journey coming here. I was born in Kangemi, and in 1941, January 20th. And I went to school. My parents moved to Ngenda, which is in Gatondo, and I went to primary school there.
Yes.
And then I finished actually at Kikuyu intermediate school. I tell people, and I like to tell people that I didn't, when Cambridge, whatever KCPA came, I didn't pass. I got all passes, but I didn't get credit, so I didn't go to high school here. So that was a big challenge. So I continued with my education through correspondence, and in 1960 went to America. I have 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and that is Western introduction. I am a grandmother to all my age mates, the children of my age mates, and I am very proud to be here. I got a PhD. I'm a teacher. I'm a cultural. I have a PhD in counseling psychology.
Yes.
And I use it even here in Kenya. I'm probably going too round, so bear with me. I'm too much of an African. I'm not linear. I am circular.
Go round, Mom. Go.
Thank you so much. So I've been teaching. I was the assistant dean of students here at the University of Nairobi, where they felt the need, after we had admitted 844, they felt the need for counseling. And that's who sponsored me to go to the United States again in 1988 to study counseling psychology so we can help our students who came in like not really having matured. So they had a lot of problems. We started having rape. We started having things that needed to know what is the burden that the students who were younger than the previous A-level. Remember when we did away with the A-level? So anyway, they came with their burdens, and then they said there's a need for us to train somebody to go do counseling so that we can help this lot. So I went again. I'd gone to the US in 1960 with the airlift, and now I went again in 1988 to study counseling psychology to come and help our lot in the university.
Oh, you went with the airlift?
Yes, I went with the
Boyer influence one?
That's right, yes. The Boyer influence one, we were 100 women and 900 men.
Hey.
And that was a miracle. My life has been nothing but a miracle, even when I tell you, because I was studying with British Tutorial College. Then I was going to do my O-levels privately because all my friends went to the Alliance. Left me feeling very bad. So I was studying in an Ikombe. So anyway, Ikombe, you know Ikombe? It's a granary. Because we didn't have electricity. And so anyway, I went with them, and that's what they certified me. They put me to a high school in Oregon, United States. Then I did very well. They put me to college, and I got a BA in sociology. Actually, they call it arts there. Then came back and started teaching at Kenya High School, as I was telling you before. Anyway, it was quite an experience. Going to the US, they talk of Tom Boyer, they talk of Kennedy, but really there were other Black people who never saw it. You know, they didn't get as much publicity in the US as J.F. Kennedy.
Yes.
But really people like Belafonte, people like, there's another one, I'll remember as we continue, they were, and who gave their money to the Black people. And the whole idea was to go and educate Africans to come back and take over from the British. And then we had this great war between Russia and the Western, the capitalistic versus socialistic. So they didn't want Kenya. Kenya it's a precious, it's the Eden of the world. So beautiful girl that everybody wants.
Yes.
So anyway, the US was actually investing on that so that we can come back and continue the westernization which had been started by the missionaries.
Oh, so it was for their own purpose.
Absolutely. But all the same, we learned. It's good to look at, because life is about right, good and bad. Everything you do has got its own negative and positive. And what happened is, how do you look at it? So I look at it positively, that even though, they are psyching me, and I'm also psyching them.
Hey.
They want us to benefit and to continue westernization, but at the same time, they are opening a new world for me and all the other people, because I used America as a mirror. And for the first time I started, the family I lived with, they asked me, "What's your name?" And that, I hope, is what I want to read. And I said, "Oh, I'm Joseph." "No, we want to know your African name." "Oh, I'm Wanjiru." Because I didn't think that, because my brainwashing in Kenya was that you have to bear a Western name to be acceptable. So we don't want to call you Josephine, which was my baptism name. So they encouraged me to be Wanjiru. And that's what the family that I was living with calling me. And I was feeling like they are seeing me as a primitive woman. And I'm not. I've come here, I'm Christian, I'm baptized.
I'm Josephine.
I'm Josephine. And now you're calling me Wanjiru. Come on, where did I go to school for? So anyway, that was the beginning of my journey, because I started wondering who was Wanjiru, and what you caused me here today is a benefit of that question. And you started with it.
Yes.
Who am I? I am so privileged to be here. From Gatondo, I didn't even know how to eat with the forks. We were using calabash. They have calabash, kaihori, to eat. We were going to the river. We didn't have running water. And we didn't even have electricity. We have that lamp. And it was that lamp I was using to go to the granary as I started. So anyway, I'm grateful that the airlift was there.
Yes.
And so that's the positive part that allowed me to see how they treat Black people in America. And up today, don't be cheated that there is any integration. Bishop Tutu keep on saying, even if you go to the toilet together with the white people, you are not integrated. You still have got to follow who you are. And when you meet, you respect one another. But until or unless the African understands that, identity issues are very critical. Who am I? So Wanjiru, that is who I am.
Oh.
Is that enough introduction?
Yes. That's enough introduction. You caught my attention when you said, by calling you Wanjiru, you thought, why are you guys undermining me?
That's right, a white couple, yes.
Call me Josephine, call me Lynn, elevate
exactly.
me.
Yes.
Put me somewhere.
Exactly.
Only if you call me, like, I don't remember the last time I even called myself Nyambura. And that's why I'm Nyambura. And
excellent.
And that's why I was like, I struggle sometimes with who am I, even when it comes to being a woman. When we talk about feminism, sometimes people look at feminism as such a beautiful thing, These are our rights, we are fighting for our rights, we are fighting for something. And then for us to later learn from people like you that the Western culture played a role in brainwashing us as African women. I really want to hear all this. So I'm gonna pause, and maybe you can pick from after you noticed you are Wanjiru, what changed? What had you been taught that you wanted to unlearn and completely learn something different?
What a beautiful question.
Thank you.
I see you as Nyambura. Do you know Nyambura is a blessing? It rains. And it's a blessing. And no wonder you are doing all these things, because you are blessing us without knowing the whole world. You are educating. That Nyambura embodies your character. It embodies who you are. And if you look back to the people that have your name, that before, but before you came, you will see why. It has a meaning. And so Wanjiru was the firstborn of the Kikuyu and Mombi, the father of the Kikuyu culture. And Wanjiru was the firstborn. She was beautiful, but Kikuyus had no beauty context here. How you look is your behavior. How you behave mattered so much among the Kikuyus, and I think among all other tribes that I've studied.
Yeah.
And so once you know who you are, that identity issue, I even went along and made a video called A Child of Two Worlds, and probably seen a bit of that. And it defined, who am I when I'm Josephine? Who are you when you are Lynn? Who are you when you are Nyambura? And who are you when you are
Wanjiru.
Lynn or Nyambura? So I developed that as a tool to help people to understand who they are. And I had to actually take off my hat and know that's the true Wanjiru before you put anything else. And then when you do that, you look cute, but you could also be Josephine, who is pretending to impress. And once you understand truly who you are, your root, where you come from, what is the essence of your life as an African? When you go to change your name as Nyambura and you are given, that was the first name you were given when you were born. When your mother gave birth to you, she knew this was Nyambura.
Yes.
Now, when you then go and get Lynn, Lynn is very Western. It actually abandons Nyambura and gets this name of Josephine or Lynn or James or whoever. My father was James and was determined to baptize his children under that name. So Josephine James was my name, because the Presbyterian Church would not accept you unless you are baptized.
Whoa.
Then. So in primary school, I was Josephine James. Okay?
Wow.
So when these white people, they were doctor couple, lived with me, they are saying, no, that's not your name. I am really have that personal confrontation with them, because I'm educated and I'm baptized. How can you do that? So when we then take away this new name, we have to have a script. How do you behave? How do you behave so that you that lean? How do I behave at Josephine? Anyway, that allowed me, this question from these white people allowed me to go and figure out, research who was Josephine. For my case, Josephine was Napoleon's wife. She was very callous and really not like me. So I decided no more. So I would appeal to everybody who is an African Kenyan to look into your name, be it Luo, be it Chaga, be it, sorry, not Chaga, Taita, be it, and of course, even in Tanzania, they have the same thing. When we know who we are, what we have, what we bring to the table is very important. Even as a country, who are we? Why do we close our libraries that we say only English and Kiswahili? When we close our library, because those are libraries, libraries, Nyambura opens a library that will teach you what you take when you feel sick and how you prevent yourself. How do you grow up as a woman? Among the Kikuyu and culture, which you and I are, we have 8 stages of development of a woman. And the most important part is from 1 to 6, which was actually destroyed. I'm coming to feminism,
Yes,
but I'm not touching it.
Okay.
I'm not touching it yet, and I'll show you why. So between the years of 1 and 6, that is when a child really knows who they are. And that's what we have lost, because we go to church for Sunday school once in a week, and then we come back. This was among the Kikuyus, they taught you the value. They kind of inducted you in every stage of life. So during this, for boys and girls, they were being near their grandmother to be taught who you are. When you are born, they even urinate, you know, 4 or 5 times. And I normally say it's 5 for the boys, not because they are more important than female. The Kikuyus really loved their women, and they actually cultivated them. Now, the 5th one was because the males were going out to wars, to the field, to fight the Maasai. We are fighting, Kikuyus are fighting with the Maasai. So, but every one of these urination have a meaning. And one it has for a girl is that you can go and become a queen. You are gifted. You are whatever. So you read those. I'll send you the meaning of this urination. Every one of them. They are very exciting. So Wanjiru then, the meaning of Wanjiru, firstborn, has got the responsibility. It's a woman of courage, which was also part of that relation. And when you learn that, then you say, wow, this is great. And that is what we are meaning, yes. In 1985, I chaired under the United Nations Women, Decade for Women, I chaired employment committee. And so I started bringing in men. I said, we cannot discuss women issues without bringing men. That's my conviction. Was my conviction, which brought some conflict that but I said, look, because once they see how they have been negatively impact on women and how they have sidelined them, the women, they'll then come to the table. We come to the table together to find out what went wrong when. So anyway, when we went to talk to women in the rural areas, because that is participation, which they have been asking us, the women, we have no problem. What's your problem? We don't know what you're talking about. Why? Because once a woman gets married, they are given a heart. Polygamy was allowed, but it never, the first wife have got to approve the new one coming. And it went on like that. But what I want to look here into is that every woman had a heart, and that heart she controlled. She had also a piece of land. Nobody owned land among the Kikuyus. It was a clan land. Even the man did not own. The men started owning land after land demarcation. So the woman practiced economics. She's the one who is going to plant, to cultivate so that it can yield better products or whatever harvesting, and then put it in her granary.
Yes.
And then put the others, like the seeds. They selected the best seeds,
yes,
and put them up where we call it itara, is where the smoke goes, and the best. That's how they preserved the seeds. And this woman knew I belong to the Kenya Saving Seeds organization, and these are the things we're talking about. That we have all the knowledge. Not the one you get from school, because that denied who we are. So the woman then decided, I'll give this banana to Lynn. I'll give this banana to whoever, because that is hers. And I'll leave this for myself and my children. So she is the one then, let's go back to the 1 to 6. The 1 to 6, grandmother is there somewhere. They are teaching this girl who she is. And what happened, how do you behave? You go with her. It's a kind of modeled way of life. You are going to fetch firewood. You go with the little girl. They'll bring 2 twigs. If you're going to the river, they'll go there with a bottle.
Kibuyu.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they come in knowing what they're supposed to do. Then they also help in putting the fire together.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, also while they're waiting for the evening meal, they are being taught things. So both the man, the old man, and the woman contributed to the raising of this child. This child is the one who will become Mukami Kimali. This woman is the one who will become Mudhoni Kirema.
Yes.
And many others, because you have them, she has them in these areas. We don't even have to come to those who are recognized. You go to your own grandmother, the grandmother before, and you will see they had a lot of confidence. They knew who they were. They were not looking to take out their bras like the feminists did. They were not looking to help the male chauvinism approve the blood that we shed every month in preparation for recreation. Because the first menstruation of a girl, the father, the mother was a part of it among the Kikuyu. Until she finishes that menses, nobody, even the father, doesn't go far away. He stays there. And she's covered. It's like, when are you going to finish? Then when she finishes, she tells the mother tells the father, and the father slaughters a goat and invites all the people to thank God that their daughter is fertile.
Wait, what?
Yes, ma'am. And
Me, they didn't do for me.
exactly. Neither did they do for me because they were converted. I'm showing you how this life was, because when we are converted into this Christianity, which I touched on education, how you have got to be a Josephine, how you had to be, even your parents, if you ask them, you will see that they have to have that name to be able to go to school.
Yes.
So you missed all this that was really so, the menses was not something that was distasteful. Disgusting, exactly. It was something that was embraced by Today, what do we have? Children missing school because they don't have pants, and nearly feeling like a boy. When I was talking about shame, exactly. So we had that. So when
our men were part of it.
Absolutely.
Our fathers knew, they protected us.
Exactly.
And they slaughtered in celebration. And in Thanksgiving.
Yes. And that's called Cuervo. Cuervo. My book is coming out. I have listed all these things. Yes. Cuervo. And it's like Cuervo, the man says Cuervo and give it to the Creator. So choir, raising it and whatever. So this girl has been taught how to be a woman, not necessarily from talking. I normally talk of then the circumcision out of these 8 stages of development I talked about. Circumcision, we threw out the water with the bath water, because cutting of the clitoris is not what I talk about mainly. I talk about the counseling that went on with that circumcision, which we don't know, which we were not taught. So we really don't know. We are ashamed of our bodies, because nobody is praising this body, but the Kikuyus praise that body. So the Kikuyus wanted a woman, tall, short, or whatever, to really be, because he's a mother of so-and-so. There's a man who writes about this culture called Milton, I think, if I'm not wrong. And he talks of an African being, an African of yesterday. You're that name of yours?
Milton.
Yes. Yeah, okay. and this person is of today and is of tomorrow. And therefore, it comes out very, very proud. So when we come to feminists, and I hope these are all going to come together. Yes. When it comes to feminists, we don't need it. And that's why when we went during the United Nations Decade for Women, the women are wondering, what right are you talking about? Because this woman has all the rights. She has all the
freedom,
the self-determination. You call it what you want. This woman knows, like my father was Kanotha. So this idea of coming to Mrs. Kamau is not existent among the Kikuyus. You say, how is the daughter of Kamau, Kanotha doing today? Yes. How is the daughter of Kanotha? What's your father's name? Gogi. How is Gogi's daughter doing today? If they see you a little upset, they are concerned, because if you are doing your head like this or you're crying, it was the whole age group system that is really what the foundation of our whatever, what was brought by the circumcision, both for men and women. So this age group really retained you and taught you how to love yourself as a woman, beautify yourself, put necklaces, remember the hangy, the one that hangs around, and put them all over. Yes, and put them on the leg. Look pretty, and then go dancing. Every so often. So when feminists come, we the schooled one. Mind you, I didn't say educated. There's a difference between being educated and schooled. When we are schooled, we don't know, we lose ourselves. When we are schooled, everything is Shakespeare, everything is there. Go to the internet. Are you doing well? It has nothing to do with this wanting to be beautiful, and you are not being labeled prostitute. You're just supposed to beautify yourself, and this is what you do. The Smiths, the one you talked about in the other day in one of our interviews, we have minerals, and those minerals are people. The teens people used to make all the beauty for the neck, the beauty for the hand, the beauty for the legs. So
you now they're educated.
Yes, now
they're schooled.
Exactly. Like when I first I went to our settlers Kenya Settlers Farm to collect coffee. And I was so happy because I wanted necklaces. So I bought myself a pair of necklaces. They used to sell them in a set of 3. The minute my mother saw them, the Christian, she told me, no, not here. Take them to the toilet and throw them, because that means now you're becoming a prostitute. So that was really hurting to me, because my mother, and you couldn't even braid your hair the way you have braided your hair. We had all these, the missionaries taught us, cut it, cut it, cut it. You see the contrast I'm trying to bring now? This education now being molded
to work against us.
To work against you. And therefore, you leave what you are, what defines you as a person, and then you try to look as white as possible, but you can't. No matter how much you try. You know, Gomi Wadiongo talks of people talking English, but they don't know the nuances of English. Like one of the nuances happened when I was the US, and then the whole 9 yards. They talk and then the whole night. So I asked somebody, what does this whole now, you know, is a nuisance that shows many other things that are like extra, whatever. So we learn English and we expect whatever. So let me go back to the 1 to 6. 1 to 6, you are teaching, the little boy is learning from grandmother and also from the father exactly how to behave. You never hate a relative with a panga looking this way where they cut. You can hate the relative with a flat panga. That means you are not hurting. So you teach them conciliation, reconciliation, you teach them justice, then, and as they grow during their circumcision, the age group, they are also learning how to manage the community. So now we are living to 1 to 6 with maids. So those maids now, the children are coming up with the mentality of the maid. So we really have got to rethink. Even though this culture was so wonderful, we've moved from there. How do we marry this education system and our traditions? And what would our tradition? Somebody could say, leave her alone. Who wants to go back there? I'm not talking of going back there, but I'm talking of who we were before colonialism was impact. And I give them 100% pass. They came with an agenda to finish us so that they can take what we have.
That was the agenda?
Absolutely. The agenda was they were coming. Colonial mentality was we are going there to dominate. They started with heart tax. I don't know whether you know that. You'd have to know. The heart tax was taxing the Africans so that their schools right here, they can be better. I don't know whether you followed the school system, the white people's, the European schools, which Kenya High School, as I was telling you, it was a white people's school, and then the Asian, and then the Arabs, and number 4, people like you and me. So the heart tax was going to benefit those schools. So when you came, when you went to your school, some schools in Kenya were even taking place when we were paying tax. They were going under the trees. They had no classrooms.
Yes.
And of course, they had no whatever. So when you are learning, you're saying, I really would like to be a European, because they have better schools. They have better everything. They even eat well. They fry their food. We don't.
They have bread.
They have bread. We don't. And that's another one I want to talk to you about. So they have bread, and bread was like, oh my goodness. And that is why up to today, we are becoming obese. Because we long for that bread so much that today we are going for mandazi. We are going for all these white stuff that breaks our bodies. Against what was our boiling. Our boiling stuff was so good, and you could not have had people get hypertension, diabetes. So you see, yes, diabetes, we didn't have it because we ate well. With I see you looking at me like that. You see, I love it. I love it, Lynn. You're wondering how come. You see, we had wonderful vegetables, and we mashed them all together, which did not show civilization, because that is mukimo.
Yes. And
How
it's
can
ugly.
how can you put everything together? Well, that is where the goodness is. It's not in these chapatis. It's not in the, occasionally have them, but don't have them every
Yes.
day, because they know that fat, it just wears you down. And so, let me go back to that woman so that I can tell you why she's telling you, Hapa, we don't have that problem. And we don't even have, we are not righteous. We have our right because of how we live. So, go back and see what's wrong with you. Those were some of the comments from the women. We thought they needed us to educate them on what to be, so that we can join as feminists and do away with it. They didn't have Cinderia bras. They don't have all these things we put inside. They are free lots. They are flowing, and they're just feeling very happy. Very happy and satisfied about them. They are radiant. They are children.
They are okay.
Who comes to say you cannot breastfeed your child? Today we are looking. I saw an article that's saying the young people are saying the shape is going to go. And now I think the Ministry of Health now I think there is a move to encourage people to breastfeed. So let me come now to the feminist question. After you have all these people that Nyakeo over there, or whoever, Wambui is there, who is telling you, you people go back to Nairobi.
I'm not backward.
I'm not backward.
Leave me
okay. Alone. I'm happy. Because this man doesn't sleep in that hut. That man sleeps in his own place. There is in polygamous, whatever, the men had Vingira. Vingira is where they stay. And he only comes to you to make a baby. He's not telling you what to do. Okay? Whoa. He's not telling you what to do. He knows what to do, and you know what to do.
He's not controlling you.
No. The daughter of Kanotha, be controlled by who?
Wait.
So the daughter of Kanotha, the daughter of Ngugi, the daughter of whoever,
yes,
they are just there. They know what to do. They went through it. They are whatever. So there is that pride that you could see in a Kikuyu woman. Whoa. So where did the fight start? Because violence is something I also want, and I'm going to summarize.
It's okay.
I lecture, and yes. I know that I don't want to leave for people hanging, wondering why was she talking about. Now, when men worked for the white people, the settlers, they were not allowed to go home weekly. Some of them, most of them went back at the end of every month. When they were working as cooks, they were really suppressed. They had to salute on every male child, no matter how young. Now, this is a grown-up, fully grown-up man, circumcised, and had gone all the rituals of the Kikuyu people, and is ready to serve. No, the money introduction requires him to go take the bread back home. So when he's going back home at the end of the month, after being oppressed, because he's the cook, he's kuku. Kuku. I work as a cook.
Yes.
But he can't say cook. He says kuku. De kuku amuzongo. So he's so oppressed. But when we gets home, his wife, whatever she says, he's angry. Fight. Total fight. Kick. The Kikuyus never used to fight like that. The Kikuyus used to, they could slap or call you, but a name, and they say, what did I do? There was that negotiated. And as soon as the voices were raised, the grandparents, the parents who are in the same compound would come, yes. What are you doing with my mother? Because the first child is named after the mother. If it's a male, it's a father. If it's a female, it's the mother of your husband. So she appears holding herself. What are you doing to my mother? So there was no total war that we witness today. There was no slaughtering. Remember, I told you young children were taught to hate those who they like with this.
Reconciliation.
Don't
cut.
Exactly. That violence we are getting is because our young people have not been taught. So we have a lot of job to go teach the women and the top. And marriage is not about fight. It's about negotiation. So when we come to today, you hear the man then he's frustrated, how he's taking out his frustration on the wife. Because he knows this is the only time. He has only Saturday, Sunday, go back Monday to work. So I don't even know whether they have time to procreate, because I remember when I was a little girl, like 10, and the neighbor called me, say, write this letter to my husband, because you can write and I can't. And he said, tell him the little girl named, which he would name the little girl, say Lynn, is now running from house to the granary. Message, come home, I need another baby. Okay.
Kuja.
Haraka sana. You are gone. And so this is what I need to make another baby, because I haven't named my dad. I haven't named my mother. And a woman knew this was a system.
And you're saying the women were okay with this?
Well, they were not so much okay with them with going to the colonialism, but you see the destabilization of, because if he lived there, he would have known.
No, the women, they are okay with this lifestyle.
Absolutely.
They are okay with having babies. They don't need you
exactly
telling them they don't have rights.
Absolutely. And they didn't need you to cultivate. The part that a male did among the Kikuyu was only the if it's a kichaka, if it's an unused land.
Yes.
It's very difficult to dig. So the men dug the top.
Then you continue.
Then you continued for life. And nobody told you when to go to the river, what to cook, how to serve. You knew it all because you have seen it being done by your mother. Therefore, you come. Like today, I understand young people like who you know here. They go to their mothers and say, cook me. I don't know how to do this. Cook for me, because now I'm married. I'll go put it in the refrigerator. Yes. Now, it's because my generation or your generation, we didn't teach you. So I am actually appealing to people to teach their children how to cook.
So, Mom, you are saying this whole education, wear nice, be an office woman, I didn't need this.
I am not saying you didn't need it. I said there is a good and bad.
Yes.
So we need to read. We need to learn what you're doing. We need to be Lynn and Josephine. But how do we integrate Josephine, Lynn, and Nyambura and Wanjiru? How do we integrate the two? It's about choosing. Just like go to the men go choosing. I don't want her. Yes. I don't want her. I want her.
Eish.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
All
and
right.
Then you are on a journey toward quoting. So it's a question of like, see, what good do we get from the Western culture? I came here with a car. I lived far. That's a good thing.
Yes.
But I have also got to ask myself, is that car going to be me? It doesn't define who you are. You are using it as a tool. I mean, so is the language you and I are using now. It's a tool. You don't have to be white to know it, but you can speak German, you can speak, a lot of our people speak more than 3 languages.
Before we were colonized, the marriages were more stable than they are right now.
Absolutely.
And the women had no issues.
They had no issues. I wouldn't say there was even divorce. And the divorce was like what the dowry was paid. If you are found doing some things that are really not good, then you can go. And the dowry part of it is returned. But that was very rare, extremely rare. Because the women really understood who they were. And the men, you see, there was this thing which the late Kenoti, Professor Kenoti, wrote about circumcision, what it did. Circumcision provided age group. Like I have a video I've made on this actually, that I called it Kokumithio.
For the men?
Yeah, for everybody. Because it's after they are circumcised, then they are brought into the community, inducted to the community. And so they are taught how to behave and how to, like for instance, if, like when they were doing that, if a girl was promiscuous, the whole Rika would, because, to begin with, after circumcision, they had a little hut where they had to go do ngwiko, meaning romance. You touch everywhere, but not south in the center.
Wait, what?
Yes, it's called gweko.
Who is touching you?
The men. that we got circumcised together, the same race, the same age group, they can touch you anywhere that will make them feel better, but never down there.
So you and the mans, you go...
Absolutely, in a little hut. In a little hut, the
you
mother...
touch each other?
Absolutely. Your mother gives you the castor oil. Castor oil.
Yes.
She's the one who made it. They all smear around you. You go smear, you feel good. So this whole idea was stimulation and towing you, teaching you discipline. People are not just supposed to sleep together just like that. The Western way. Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. So this you touch my breast.
Yeah.
And I feel good.
Seeking for a man too, like.
And I feel good. Kenyatta, the first president, has written about it too. And your parents will also teach, but they may be Christian, they don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
But that whole thing, they can, the whole night.
So you are saying, where else we're in agreement, don't circumcise the women. We should have continued with this education.
My point again, and many more, I'm going to tell you even more. So there was that acceptance that there's desires, sexual desires. What do you do with them? Do you just, because you are all here now, it's time to do this? And when he feels like he wants to touch you, he did his job here between the legs. Never inside. Now, if one girl and boy decided, this is too hard, we're going to do it. Let me tell you, that age group sent you to the river, put a lot of clay on you, okra. Naked, go face your parents. That was the punishment. And the minute they saw you come with that clay and you're naked, they know what you've been up to. Nobody got married to that girl. The men and women got married virgins. Would you believe that? Because I tell people that. I had somebody talk about it in the radio the other day. It was true. Because they were allowed to take, whatever it is they are feeling, it's allowed. It's allowed by the society to have this gweko and to realize that you can do that, but no chastity belt is there.
Stay away.
Yeah, the chastity milk, have you seen it? It's mwengo. And that's what they was tied around, because the women dressing was that one. I have it, I wanted to wear it, but anyway, so that I can show you, in case. That is what was was tied. Okay? So we learn to respect our bodies and others did. Discipline. Thank you for that. Discipline, that you don't always, because you feel like you want sex, jump in with everybody or anybody or whatever. No, that was a no-no. And so even among the marriages, the children were placed 2 years in part or even more. You don't just go, and of course when you want to have sexual intercourse, you are encouraged to do it between the legs. Because any woman who was found that, because the old woman like me would do this, that you hold a child, no, it's very light. We know what you have been doing. And that's in my book too. That you don't do that because the child is not going to grow. I don't know, that was a belief. And I don't want that. So coming back to the feminist, I don't know whether women even in the United States were not supposed to vote until 1960. Together with the black people.
Yes.
In England, the common law, which is really what impacted colonialists here, told women you are next. Men are head. You try to talk like that to a traditional woman. What are you talking about? When did I become a neck?
And which head?
And which head? So there was respect, but it was never like oppressive to the women. So feminists made a lot of sense, the feminists who were suffering over these Western cultures. And for your information, check Einstein and English. Among sexuality and what have you, the researchers, circumcision was there in England during the Victorian time. The last circumcision in America on a white woman was 1948. This is all out there. Because it was meant to oppress sex because they wanted to have pedigree children. So the women were really, a lot of them were killed during the Victorian times, because they are the healers. They are coming up with the healing. They are coming up, and they needed to be suppressed. You can't have sex because you are looking for pedigree children, because they believe when you have sex children often they come out kind of weak. So we want the blue eyes and the whatever coming out strong and all that. So the women that was blamed on their clitoris. So they cut it. Punishment. Okay?
Try.
That is England I'm talking about.
But they make it look like Africa, we had all these problems.
Right.
They had them.
So then comes the lands that they are circumcision among the Kikuyus, among the among whoever. And they say we have to kill these men. They are the people who are requiring because they don't want us to enjoy sex. So I was asking them, because they give me their highest degrees in America, why do you have divorces with all the clitoris you have? And they would look at me and they'd say, how did you? I said, yes. I asked, because you are enjoying sex, because you have all the clitoris. Why do you have divorces? So many. I want to be very clear. I'm not telling us to go back to circumcision, but what went along with the circumcision? What kind of counseling that went along about life between women and men? Because these are people, it's a society that accepted desires. It's a fact that you knew from your head that, yes, this is what I feel. And instead of kneeling down to tell Jesus to take away these sins, they face it right on. Because our culture is made up of rituals. What are rituals? Dances. You can dance in a ritual. Myth. We must not forget our myth so that we can then know how we respected God. We knew God more. Nyasai is the name of God for the Luos. Were for the Ruyas. Kikuyu Ngai. You can go on and on and on to everyone. What are the characteristics of those gods we prayed to? Can we then contrast them to the Hebrew God? It's the same. And we did not designate Sunday only to go and pray. We lived it every day. With these rituals, like a curse, if I lie to you, if I say something that's not complimentary, it doesn't add any life to you, something bad will come to me. This whole thing of fighting and killing one another, it's all because of money. So, having said all these things, feminism started from there. And of course, the same men we have in Kenya too, they have also read about it. I'm the head of the family. So I'll beat you. You bring the money to me. Wasn't I told I was the head? Bring that money you're earning to me. And when I come home, take off my coat.
I'm the man.
And I'm the man. And you start. So they have no one to teach them how to actually be leaders and serve the woman. Serve this person who have come to define you, because men were not defined among the Kikuyu. There was no heart for them. The heart was built when marriage was going to be consummated. So this man is your foundation. This woman is your foundation, sorry. Because now she has the control of that heart, and that's why she gave birth. So this idea of men just telling women, you have to do this, I have to give you this, you have to report, it's not African. It's very much Western. And it's supported by the church. Because the church and the Bible want the woman to be submissive. Always submissive. So whatever happens where you are the woman, you have to be submissive. You are the, This is a relationship. It's a partnership. You have to know you can't carry the baby. And that's why you had me, because I have the garden for you to plant your seeds. When you bring your seed, you look for the best garden.
Yes.
Okay? Where the seed is going to grow. So this person who is defining who you are, finally after nine months, there is something that, it looks like there's a miracle of a baby. Looks like you. It could not have been fulfilled without this woman who you are treating like a slave. She's the queen. Yes, she's the queen.
Quisha.
Now, the queen also has a responsibility. You don't have to abuse. You don't have to go all around. You don't have to not come. Honesty. Honesty, integrity is what moves people. And that's what this society has actually thrown out like a baby with the water. And so we really all have to look at it and say, in every tribe, I've done quite a few tribes actually,
Yes.
here in Kenya, there was that much respect. And that was guided. And not the law, not this constitution. You knew when I'm lying to you, that's wrong. When I'm stealing your things, beg, ask for it. So this is now the new culture that we have got to really analyze very cleverly, to say, since we can't make it, the woman has got to work and the man has got to go to work. In the meantime, we are procreating. Who takes our values to our most beautiful position called children? Who teaches them? Because we are both gone. How do we ensure this? So I don't mind those husbands who are the head to really realize that and allow at least the woman to be there more often with the baby. To be able to inculcate whatever,
Yes.
inculcate
Yes.
the correct values that defines our family when we get together. We don't need a lot of money to do that. We can decide, listen, since this is our most prime gift of responsibility of motherhood, of fatherhood, we can live on 2,000. You don't have to have all this meat. I don't have meat. Anyway.
Yes.
So the feminists, I hope I have shown you why it's irrelevant to us. It's relevant to the schooled women of Kenya, not the educated one. Okay? The schooled. There's a very big difference between being educated and being schooled. That's knowledge. That it has no wisdom. And the wisdom is really what your cultures give you. It is the wisdom that has been practiced by our people. Do they know money? No. Do they know how to live? How come we go to Nandi County or Kisumu or Nyeri and we find people who never went to school and they are 100 years old? My challenge to the world. They must be doing something right. They are not primitive. You know, they are not what you'd call civilized. They don't speak English like me.
They're not stupid.
Yes, they're not stupid, indeed. And now, finally, I was telling you about diet. Togotia. Have you ever heard of togotia? Togotia is a vegetable that grows everywhere. Nobody plants it. The Kikuyu used to use it. And now, Egerton College has received 50 million to study on it. It has all the minerals we go buying. Top, togotia. And I actually, if they listen to this thing, I really applaud them. The two, there is a woman there who are now analyzing that. And it's going to be the top most vegetable in the whole world. Now, the people, the Westerners, are doing what they know best to make seeds and then sell it to the world. I don't know how much. That's just like M-Pesa. M-Pesa have revolutionized the world. Came from the Kenyan ordinary people. Now it's being used all over the world. Did that man we don't know how to even celebrate our people who make things, our innovators. So we have to, being young, being educated, can we look back at being schooled? Our school, what a certificate. So what is that certificate allowing you to do? Is it something useful to you, to the nation? Does it have integrity? So that we can then discover and move on and see how we can look at this life together that is really threatened by money. The feminists, I think I have answered that.
You have.
These are the one, the impact of the woman. This woman, by colonialist, this woman I told you has got a heart, is completely independent with what they are doing. The children are growing and they are giving them, I mentioned earlier that like a woman, she has 7 transitional stages that were accompanied by rituals for that area. So you grow up knowing who you are. You grow up really feeling very good about yourself and celebrating womanhood. So what is it can we then borrow? Borrowing a leaf, I think that's what they call it. What can we borrow from the traditions so that we bring it to the modern world? Because nobody will ever go back there. So is there anything? Why do we even quote Shakespeare every time we speak, or some white person? Do we have brilliant people. Those 100 years people who are neither Mukami or let's see, Makatawili,
Yes,
Mukatawili, Mensa, Mensa.
Mensa.
Exactly. Who actually
Mekatilili.
Thank you. Mekatilili wa Mensa. He actually revolutionized and refused the colonialists to do what they wanted to do with the coastal people. And that woman was 70 then when she was doing that. And then she was put in jail. She walked from Western all the way to Kilifi. So it doesn't matter the age. So what is it, our 100 years in Luhya land, in Luo land, in Kikuyu, who taught them? They never went to school. What do they have?
What do they know?
Yeah, what do they know? Exactly. And how can we get that indigenous knowledge from them so that at least all the dishonesty in Kenya today can end? Because all our tribes, all our ethnicities, that's the best word, they had integrity. And they imparted that to people. I will tell you, just during the emergency period here, during the War of Independence, they used to sell newspapers in Karioko. Do you know where Karioko is? Karioko is. Somebody would leave their newspaper there. And then nobody is still selling. You come up, you want a newspaper, you know how much, you leave the money there, you give yourself change, and you take the newspaper. That Karioko was full of everybody in Kenya. So how did we turn all of a sudden to be thieves? That I'm now looking around, I would be looking around, oh, what can I, maybe there's a book there, oh, well, I'll put it there. So where did you get, it is actually that integrity that we have lost. We have no values. We have no values for life. We have no values, respect for one another. We've lost it. And yet, if we go to any of the ethnicities, it's there. And it's telling you, do this to another, these are the consequences. Everything has a cause and consequence. So my whole thing of wanting to go on a journey of this life, I was telling you, is like to be able to analyze, what is it can I do to fight this Western imposition that tells me I'm less than? So I grow my own food. I'm not diabetic. I'm not hypertension. I'm not hypertensive, yeah, whatever. And hypertensive, yeah. So, because I grow my own food, no chemicals, okay? And your grandmother told you, go get these leaves, go get these roots, boil them together.
Mix them up.
Eat. Yeah, so there are chemists in every ethnicity. And chemists that are traditional. So today, people are going over, every time, oh, you are sick, you are this, bring this step. So all the money you have earned is going to an institution called pharmaceutical. Because they're wondering, like yesterday, actually, I went to the doctor, I was telling one of you, and she was saying, oh, your blood pressure is a little bit high, I want to give. I said, leave me alone. I know what to do with my blood pressure when it goes up, and I know why it's there. I didn't sleep, I had slept only 3 hours, and I'm angry because of whatever I was making. So you understand your body, and then do breathing. I asked him, give me five minutes. He said, I'll give you 5 minutes. When he came to check my pressure, it was perfect. And if you allow me, I'll show you how, because I met a man who started. Now, you breathe in, you like this, see? And you hold, and then you breathe out. So all of you, I'll show you. You just, because this is really how to control blood pressure. Nobody needs to take medicine for that. So you see, I said that when you breathe in, the stomach comes out. And then you hold 8. You breathe in 4, and then hold 7. So I'll tell you why. And then you go in 8. Now look. So you start 4, you go 7, I normally do up to 10. The minute you do that, your pressure, bang, it's where it should be.
Okay? No need for medicine.
No need for medicine. And then eat well. Don't put a lot of fat in your food. And then, you'll be fine. I'm not addressing Lynn. No. I'm just addressing anybody.
I have no problem even if you do. I'm learning.
No, because these things are there. I told you my research is on menopause among the Kikuyu people, and the book is coming out. They tell you, in fact, they would tell this is what you do for this, menstrual cramps. It's there. The women, the very old women who have no brassieres, they know.
What do you do?
The bark that you're going to get and boil and take away that. Instead of going for an aspirin, the Kikuyus, the Luyas, the Luo, they know. But we are calling them primitive. Because by the time you go get the root and the bark and what happened, come back, it's too, I want an aspirin. That's exactly the point. It's convenient, but it's costly. So that's why we cannot leave our children. You cannot raise our children because we are busy doing what? Earning money so that we can have an insurance for these children, because you are told if you don't have an insurance, when you die, then you're nothing, whatever you. So you need this. So you are brainwashed. Do this. Life that you never thought would be. If you eat well, you don't need all this insurance for what? I'm not going to die tomorrow.
No.
The child doesn't need all, like COVID. COVID came and went, and I said, please do not. I told everybody, don't go to get an injection. For what? It's a killer. And that's the population has come up to worry the Westerners because they want to preserve their wealth. So they come up with, it's mpox. Do not touch it. God loves that we have the sun, and the sun is a healer. Then ask, don't eat ugali all the time. Diversify. First of all, vegetables, different vegetables, the Uyas know them. They know all these mlenda, they know all these what, and they do marvelous. And that's why COVID didn't take all the money from the people they wanted. Kibera State still continued walking from Kibera to town, job and back. That's the gym. Right there.
Yes.
It's a gym.
It
using
is.
your own legs and walking. So they didn't die. So because they are healthier than people who sit down and they are being driven. You have the car. Let's have meat. Okay, meat every day.
Spaghetti.
And a drink. Yes. And then you find yourself, if you are pregnant, if you are married. Because you're not moving, you're just eating, and there's no movement. And then the chemist is over there. Now I have a problem. I was told I have high blood pressure. Yeah, why not? You created the blood pressure by eating. So let's go back to what I came here for, because that was just...
No, it's good. You're learning. It's good.
That one probably doesn't... But anyway, it's really a life skill which we have got to dispute and ask, how can we have poor people live this long? They never had injections. They don't have all these things they are talking about. And they are in every village, by the way. How come they are doing better? Or they lived to be this age? Did they take vitamins?
Supplements?
No. Which is making us leave our children to have made mentality and philosophy, because we are not there. And what is it are we looking for in 10, 12 years? We are looking for our children to go to school in America or Britain because we have the money. Those people will get married there. Mine have. So you lose there's immigration goes, and it leaves people no
with
community.
Nothing.
Because the only time I'll call my mom or my dad over there is doing Zoom. I don't know how she's facing life. I don't know how he's facing in the life. So we have got to recreate integrity in this country so that our people don't have to go out looking for jobs. And well done. What you are doing is incredible. You are planting a seed that God gave you.
Thank you.
So you can give us a platform. You can give anybody a platform. Today, Kenya has got the best. And the best comes from those people. We got to go back to where they are. I don't care whether they are who interview them with an interpreter.
Yes.
And you see exactly that our people knew right and wrong for the community. Right and wrong, first of all, for the individual. Right and wrong for the community. right and wrong for the country. But the minute we agree to have these Westerners come and take our brains, empty, and then put it in transfusion, that's what I call it, transfusion to the hybrid of our people. Because our hybrid are the Josephines and the Lynns and the Jameses of today. So their brains are emptied, and then a different blood is replaced. That tells you, unless I do this, I cannot be this. Unless I drink wine from this goblet, it's not wine. To hell with it. If you put it in a carapace, what happened? It's all marketing.
Yes.
So in other words, simplicity and really looking back to see what our cultures had that can be restored, that can be brought back to life is the best. I'm challenging everybody. Whatever community you have come from, it's there. That's the gold mine. Because that is what is going to make you fearless of the World Bank. That is what is going to be fearless of the IMF. Because you understand they're not coming for you. They're making money. Nobody gives money. I live in America. And I went to that World Bank and presented a paper, and some of them walked out because they don't lie to me. You have given me your highest degree. Don't tell me we live from hand to mouth. I didn't when I was living in Gatundu. When I was growing up, we ate organic food. In America, organic food cost an arm and a leg. Okay? So this country is also being turned into that because we have nothing to bring to the table. We were primitive. What do we have? They never had shoes. They are more healthy. Today, what are they encouraging? We walk barefoot. Ground.
Everything that we were.
Thank you. That is my message and my very big conviction that everything that we knew so well is now what is fashionable. It's now what the medical people are telling you. Because we have reached the maximum of curing, but never preventive. Our cultures were about preventing. So who are we? That's the question you said. I want to know who I am. Who you are, beginning with your name. If people confuse you even with your name, how can they not confuse you until you die? The name Josephine is not me. The name Wanjiru is me. And I know very well that I am a woman of substance. I know I'm a woman who is entitled to do the right thing.
I am a blessing.
And
I'm Nyambura.
Absolutely. You are a blessing and you are Nyambura. And you know, so, and that blessing goes more than you can even imagine. Because you are meeting me for the first time. You meet those people. How come you are a blessing to me so that we talk? You don't know me?
No.
So it's working within you. So please use it and know that it's driving you. All this rain
should come on the show and be
Nyambura
Ngugi.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then how come you were Nyambura and somebody came and confused you and say, we are giving you the name Lynn, because if you give you the name in, you see a white god. I will let you say that my friends, 3 women my age, the other day they were playing, actually it's not the other day, like 5 years ago. And, and they sat there and they said, Ngondi, you know the Kikuyu, we don't know how to. We add irons to everything. So they were saying, Ngondi, we ask you to breast this tea. And we are so happy. So when they finished with their amen, I said, listen, which one of you is your God white? Why do we pray in English? Have you been to many places, even Kikuyu speakers? And they go on praying in English? Why? Subliminally. It's a subliminal thing. And I told you I'm a psychologist. It's subliminal. You know very well God will not understand Kikuyu, will not understand Duya, will not understand Kamba.
I gotta do it in English.
And I'm going, yes, well, when you are mixed, it's fine.
Yes.
But when you are alone, why do you have to pray in English? It's an individual question. It doesn't have to be answered, but it's subliminal. What is your belief system? Will God come to you? Will that God listen to you? Why do you have to learn this language so that you can communicate with your maker? So there are many questions we have to ask. When we get money from the World Bank, is it free money? Do they love us so much while they have even traded us? That is trade slave is what made America what it is. Slave trade is what made Europe what, I mean, Europe most of the place, but England is where I want to go. That is where they got their money. Today, the Yale University, they are being sued. They actually, to make it where it is to know that famous, that, what are they called? It's a group of university called. Anyway, they are being told it is blood money that you have been benefiting from. When I went to America, I saw it. I was received better than the Native American, than the African there. And that's what happened even today. Oh, they have an accent. That's nice. Those ones that don't have an accent, who they never even gave grants to get degrees, they speak broken English. So we have a lot of lessons to learn from those people who come here to give money. Study their history. Then you know they're not coming because they love you. Just like the airlift I told you. So you benefit from that money, but understand where it's coming from and don't put it in your pocket. Because you make everybody pay for that money you put in your pocket. So integrity is what our traditions taught us. And if anything, I will leave with you, Lynn, it is that. Integrity, honesty, generosity, those are the things that defined our communities. We have a society, we have people in the leadership of the Western countries who know how to label people. You are less than. You are nothing because you are Wanjiru. You need to have an English name. Because you have to have a cake. Cakes have destroyed us. The white sugar is an enemy. White mushere, rice is an enemy. All these things they are doing to spray our food is a killer to reduce the population. And there's a lot of literature on that. And this is no forojo. What do you call forojo in English? Forojo. This is real. I mean, when they are bringing things, chemicals that have been rejected in Europe, and they have been rejected in America and Canada and Australia, how come we are using them in our gardens? How come 1 out of every 4, like in Meru, has got cancer? Why? It's all there. Again, I'm not making up statistics. What is ailing us? We are leaving our good Githeri and Mokimo. Remember we talked about it? And then we are saying, oh, give me this steak, give me this, and put it separate so that it looks civilized. Yeah, compartmentalize it. Yes. Yeah, so that we can think now we are in
Nanda.
So,
why?
Yeah, and this thing, what do they put a lot to taste better in big hotels?
Fat.
Butter and cream and garlic. Then you go home. Some of us get diarrhea. Some of us want to go back because that taste, I was talking to my granddaughter and I said, do not use this tomato sauce. It's got sugar and it has got chemicals, and there's an office in New Jersey of chemists that develop tastes. And those tastes are supposed, when you eat them, you hear the mention and you start salivating.
Yes.
So it's a market.
There's a question I've seen being asked. Why is it that if you are a woman and you part ways with your husband, you even change your child's name? So you'll see someone being called James Nyambura, James Wairimu. Is it a good way to name our sons?
It's a sounding no. You cannot erase history. And that's what I was talking about. It's history of this country that brought us where we are. Marriage, when you are making that baby, you are honeying each other. That child never asked to be born. No matter what had gone on between you and your husband, don't ever try to change that name. Keep that name of that man. Don't, because we are women who are also misguided. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we just want. It's all about feminist power. We are bitter. Don't bring the child into it. Let the child know that is your father. We are no longer friends, but that's your father. And there is no need to lie. Again, integrity. So when you change the name from that person, you are really hurting that child. That child has that man's DNA. That child, if she ever came with a sickness that needed to be looked into, is the father. And the father, if he's also, because we are all sick, we are all victims of this, whatever. If the father also doesn't even want to see your face or to do whatever, he should also be ashamed. That is his responsibility. Among the Kikuyus, there were no orphans. It was the responsibility of a man. Remember, we went to that Gweko, that whatever. It was the responsibility of a man to take care of that child. Either bring that child into the family and confess, these are my children by somebody, whatever, and have that woman, again, woman needs counseling, not to mistreat a child. No child come to this world having having chosen the mother or the father. You are chosen by your maker to be the father and the mother of that children and given the responsibility of raising that child to death until they finish and leave you. They go to start their own. But you know, when you do something like that, you see, it's the bitterness that I was telling you. It's the whole identity issue that is eating our marriages, eating our government, eating our communities. The churches even, they are not the solution. You've seen what has been happening. So it is that misguided. So when your marriage doesn't work, don't blame the man alone. You also have something to, you are also you have also been contributor of whatever problem you're facing. And it is that honesty, integrity that I keep on calling about. We are not angels. Women, we are not angels. Men are not angels. When we understand that, we solve the problem. You know?
Yes.
So
what's in a man's name? Why can't this child be Wairimu?
If you never got married, they can be that person. But if you got married and, you know, and then you have got to also safeguard, why do you want to be? A lot of children ask their parents, who was my father? And they never forget that. I have one sister, she died in 2007, and we have a problem with that kind of a thing, because I told the young lady, if you ask, because traditionally my sister, the oldest sister, didn't get married, she was helped. My father died when I was 2. So the oldest sister was helping my mom bring us up. We are only 3 girls. So my sister got too late and said, all I want is to have a child. So she had this child, and the child confronted me. Who is my father? Because she read, again we read, the information is out there about chromosomes, about what diseases you get because you belong to this line of whatever. So I would tell women, choose the best person to give you seeds for the child that you want. Because I told my niece, if I ask my sister now about that question, who the father was, she will even commit suicide. That is something that is so un-African. You'd never asked a grown-up woman who decided to have a child when they are 40, and that they are blessed enough to have that child, who is the father? Because she doesn't, that's her secret. So that person can be that person's name, because, you know, that person was just a donor, exactly, it was just a donor, which is, yeah. So we have to think of the father repercussion to that child. And you can even ask this man, do you mind if the child bears you? I'm not asking you to educate him. I'm not asking you to provide for him. But there are things, me as a woman, I cannot give to a male child. So since we've done this together and brought this child, we have a responsibility. And therefore, you know, let us decide how. If they refuse, then you still have that, because there is a way of thinking which males bring to the table, which women don't.
Really?
Absolutely, yes, I do. And I think that whatever, and it's a question of even you and I sitting down there, I'm older than you are, there are things I can bring to that, but there are things you can also bring to me. Learning has no end. You learn until you leave this world. So that child needs to be socialized. Your uncle, your brother, your whoever, father. That is what, because the men have actually what is the word, run away from their responsibility. Because remember, I was talking of how a little child from 1 to 6, they are taught what to do. So that man, if you slept with him to create this child, has a responsibility. Or keep the zip up.
Please.
Please. No need to go make that baby for fun.
Please.
Please.
And you know, there've been a lot of talks on gender equality, gender equity. You know, do you believe what a man can do, a woman can also do?
I don't believe in that, because again, that's all money. What we learn in school, some women do very good in mathematics, even beat some whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I believe in quality of payment of the same job. If you have got, if you are qualified to do this job, and I qualified, we should be paid the same.
Qualified.
Qualified meaning whatever it is that is required for this function, it should be equal.
Yes.
Now, those are the things that I was talking about. They are emotional. They can never be legalized. But a man can have, or do have, I do believe that they will the ones blessing your child. Like, that's the belief system of the Kikuyus. That the woman also blesses. Like, I didn't talk about that. During whenever a woman had a sickness, the man came. He was the priest, and the woman was priestess. Okay, so there was that equality among the Kikuyus. So let us, you do this, where the priest put in that stuff. It was Ira, that's the name, and he saw that that's white sand. Put that white sand over there, and the woman comes with the honey, or come in the oil. So they are both administering purity, or not really purity necessarily, but healing to this child together. So there was that togetherness. If a woman at that time had a baby with a Maasai or whoever, the man never talked about it. It was brought to the family, and they considered that good luck. If somebody decided to poison the man, or whatever, that family would die, but this child who was not born of him will save the family. So the respect for the children was there all along. And so the question of, when we come to government and all those formalities, there are some issues that men, because women, we are very broad and holistic. That's the word I'm trying to do. We are very holistic, and we can see the nuances which men don't. But once we are able to convince the men, because we have the ability to do that, the men then will join us. So it's really a question of both genders to be able to come together with integrity. That I'm not just counting you as a property, which is what was our constitution before this 2010. The Kikuyu women were treasured. They even had their own council of elders. And there are times that where those council of elders sat for the same case. Meaning they trusted that. I don't know whether I'm answering, because I'm refusing to say that men are more important than the other. Yeah, because they are not. And that is my strong belief, and I wish people could realize that. And I've got a boy and I've got a girl. I have 3 girls and a boy. Never really, like when I told my son was learning cookery at Hospital Hill, my friend I said, how can you do that? You have only one son. How can you send her? It's our women.
Yes.
Because we don't believe in ourselves. How can you send your son to learn how to cook? That's for the girls. I said, no. You teach them. And I'm telling you, when he went to England, University of Bath, he cooked for himself, and he cooked the others that they had gone there with. I don't want to mention names, but he turned out to be the savior. Today, his children benefit from that. So it doesn't reduce your manhood to hold your baby, to bathe your baby. It doesn't reduce your manhood to change the diaper. Those who have proper manhood will tell the woman, rest. I'll do those dishes. And those are the kind of things I was saying, who is a man? To only come, take off the jacket and put on the feet on the chair, and the woman has been also out working. There is no...
Doesn't make sense.
There's no justice in that home. And this is the kind of thing I'm calling integrity and consideration. What is it could I be doing? So I will cook and again go read the stories, put the children to bed. The answer is a big no. That man, stop being so comfortable. This is what faces us. These children I didn't make alone. We made it together. Let us be together in providing their needs. Okay? And any man who is man enough, kind of emphasize this more, a man who is man enough will not feel reduced by washing dishes. He will not feel reduced when he's taking a shower to wash his pants, underpants. They don't belong to women. You wear them. Wash them. Yes.
Period.
Yes. And if you are man enough, you will, because it's not the woman telling you what to do. You know this is hygiene. If you have a washing machine, fine. If you don't, buy one. If you want your wife to be washing the if your wife gets sick, you can't serve her tea, then you are not man enough. You are an immature man. You serve that person. And I was so happy, and I want to say this. I'm having a problem, an issue here. My son gave me a massage. I said, I'm so grateful. We called, I have a helper. He said, this is what you do with mom. Does that make you, I feel so happy. Wow. I've raised a man enough.
Yes.
So it's all a question of how do you identify yourself? Again, identity. Because if you really respect yourself as a man or a woman, you will do things. We define ourselves as a Christian, God-fearing nation. Are we really? By word. I normally go to churches and say, my name is Wanjiru and I'm not born again. The whole church thinks, oh my God. She didn't say, oh God, all is good. Oh, God is good. All the time. I think it's just a fashion. We don't act enough to show God is good. We don't act enough when a child passes examination in the community. We have accounts in a bank, and those Christians, those children go without going to school. We have bank account, very fat.
Yet we watch them.
We watch them. We have people who are hungry. I'm born again. They are going to bed hungry. What are we doing?
Feed them.
So we go feed them. That is the master. That is the master did that. The Kikuyus equivalent to that. Where the roads crossed, to say that not roads, I'm not going to, where the path crossed, like this coming on this one and this going there, there was always a kanyumba. And that kanyumba made everybody in that area bring beans, bring whatever they harvested and put it there. Those without food went there at night because they didn't want to be embarrassed. We didn't want to embarrass them. So,
wow.
There was, what I'm talking about, it's actually there, practiced. What I'm talking about, like if it's the ushuru, the grill that is made by the Kikuyu, it's a woman's job. But there are some children who are taught, come and pound. Again, Lynn, my whole thing is trying to challenge whoever is going to listen to this video, viewers, to really know why they are leaving. Are they leaving to enslave their mothers? Wives? Are they living to support them so that they can live a happier life? Are they willing to invest in their children? Are they willing to share the philosophical framework they have to their children? And how early do they come home to do that? What is the use of amassing wealth while the most important gift that you have is suffering with a maid?
Hey.
So we have a lot of homework. We have a lot of questions to ask ourselves. And why are we dying? Why are we so lazy to come and instead of making our composts the way traditionally people made, we find it easier to come and spray everything and then have everybody die of those chemicals. So the responsibility goes there. We have, like I normally say, A traditional woman who never went to school, they know when to plant, they know when the plant is not doing well.
They know when to harvest, they know when to, they know.
Exactly. And wherever I've been, because I've been propagating organic farming.
Yes.
I said, you know, who is teaching you? We give it a name, English name, compost. So I ask every tribe, what did you call that place where you used to sweep everything and put everything there? There is a name in every, and that is what they come and tell us, compost. And they have workshops to teach you how to make bolea, which is really what we've been doing
all along.
All along. And then they baptize that bolea compost. So an old person with no teeth says, what? She can't pronounce it, but she does it.
She knows it.
She knows it. So we judge people from how do you speak English?
How do you pronounce?
How do you pronounce? So the end result is what we really need to look into. What is it am I doing? If I get a job for 100 million or whatever it is that they get, I never saw that. Because when I was the assistant dean of students at the University of Nairobi, my salary was 6,000. That's what I took home.
Wait.
Salaries were very low then. But we managed to do it. Of course, at that time, the country was not as developed. But even now, even if you're getting 100,000, you really have got to think of your uttermost gift to take care of, your purpose of life. The reason why you're breathing is those children, number one. So how do you do that together with whoever you are doing? If a single mother, let me come to the single mother, brought that child alone, she has also got to ensure that there is an established system to support that male child, that female child, so that they don't feel that they missed a father. Mine died when I was young, 2 years. 1941, January, my father died in March of 1943. My mother stood by us. Taught us even how to slaughter a goat. I'll slaughter a goat for you. Taught us, yes, ma'am. And when I did that, because my husband was socialized, now I'm in coaching on his brother. I said, doesn't matter. I didn't go to sell. I cut it for us to eat here. And you were not here, you had gone somewhere.
Yes.
So this is, I believe, that is how life should be. Use the skills. Don't limit anybody. We are limitless. We are like a river flowing. If you stop it, it will find a way. So do not stop a woman from reaching her purpose because she has a vagina. Okay?
Hey.
Don't stop a man from what he is because he has a penis. He has a penis. In other words, we have bigger purposes than our genitals. And we fight over genitals. Nobody asked to be born a male or a female.
True.
It's a sperm and an egg that comes together that you have no control over. So if you are short, be proud of yourself. If you have terrible teeth, be proud of yourself. Absolutely, because you had nothing to do with those two who met. It's not accomplishment.
That's not on you.
Exactly. Some people tell me, oh, you are this. I say, look, it's the egg and start talking about this. Talk about what is up there.
Cocosity.
Yes. Talk about what is there. Because you could be very beautiful, very handsome, but you are hopeless. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, what makes you of substance is what you develop into you, not necessarily based on looks. I think we emphasize that too often.
Yes. Wow, what a show. I feel like we've not even gone uko chini, but this in itself has been very insightful. Like, we learn a lot every single time someone comes here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very hard, as you say, to go in details because, again, we've been taught time and you have a lot to do, but the conversation should continue in the homes because that is what you are doing it for.
Talk to me about time. What's with time? What's with
time? The clock.
No. What is that we've been taught everything needs time?
Exactly.
What's the negative impact of always being like time?
I've actually talked about that in my video I call A Child of Two Worlds. I say, if somebody is late, don't And they're telling you, I'm not a support. I love to keep time. Like he told me 12, and I said, don't worry, I'll be there on the dot. However, if I'm late because something happened, you should be able to accommodate that. In fact, what I say, if you are giving a good advice or you are treating somebody, do not rush so that you can have the second one. Do your best. And know that time will always be there, but not a human being. Human being, we are not clock. You know, that's like you can run to be able to keep time and fall. When it comes, the Wazungus taught us to beat. Why did you do that? You are already in pain because you fell. So when you're being punished for that, nobody is listening to the human side of it. I fell. Maybe, you know, why did you allow yourself to fall? That's how we grew up. Being beaten for everything we did. So clock is good, but I don't believe everything should run around the clock.
I appreciate you. How does it make you feel knowing many of us are going back to learning about us?
Very excited. I jump, I dance, because that's the beginning. That is really what we have to do, because coming to the table with nothing is not fun. Coming to the table to be told you don't know anything, everything is only in books, is not fun. We have to bring what we know and synthesize that with the new knowledge. Because we bring wisdom from our places, and that's what modern education lacks. It lacks wisdom. It lacks practicability of life. And so I am very excited, because as you go back, you will start feeling very proud. And you start now teaching those who are teaching, because they come here and they love it, because they can see, you know, Kenyans smile all the time. Sometimes I wish we could be a little bit, you know, because they feel happy about themselves, about the sun. You know, I'm sure you've been to London, all these Paris and all that, and you have found people.
True.
Particularly in winter, and you find the whole country, nobody, and if you see, like, I know the only time they speak to you, like in the US where I live, they would say, because I lived there, you know, I came back in 2012, and they, hi honey, and the smile is gone.
Hi.
Yes, before then you think, oh, maybe they know me. As an African, maybe as an African, you are left wondering. Okay,
the smile is gone.
Exactly, and it's gone.
Hi, honey.
Exactly. So
what with the fake smiles though every time?
And it's gone. Exactly, because it's a commercial thing. It's selling. It's all about marketing. Because we don't even know. We are always keen to please others, but not ourselves. I don't know whether I'm making sense in that. You know, we speak very good English to attract others. Do we know our languages? My daughter, my firstborn, who is 61, she had hired people to teach her children Kikuyu. In America, she's married to an African American. I told you, when they go, we send them to study. There are also people also realizing, hey, this is a good person.
Yes.
So then they grow up speaking English. So my daughter, who likes the Kikuyu very much, was paying somebody $50 an hour
to
teach them. And they are coming, and they've come up very well, actually.
Wow.
So, and when she did that, they were saying, my God, this Kikuyu culture is so beautiful. So that is what I would wish everybody to go back to learn, to listen to your grandmother, whether it's Kikuyu, whether it's Duluo. That's also the most beautiful language. Kijaruo is poetic. So is Kimeru. I mean, so is Kikamba. Sorry,
Yes.
those are the two languages that are special in their own talk. Anyway, every language to me is a library. My last appeal: please don't close those libraries. This is where our knowledge is. Think of now these people who live in Kilifi and all these places. That Mekatili, it's crying. Why are you losing me? With drugs. I taught you to reject, to stand firm at my old age. She's asking them, people from the coastal. I moved, I was hospitalized. I mean, I was sent to even Sudan in the prison for you, so that you can resist. So when my people go back to learn what it is that was, it strengthens them. And we can answer back to the World Bank, the IMF, and to Bill Gates, can say, we don't need you. We don't need you. So we have just got to rethink, go to our roots and see what used to be there and see what can we bring, borrowing a leaf, I said that, bringing a leaf to our modern life. Not to lose, we are not going to lose either, but we are going to say, if I drink Moratina and I'm making it, it's the same effect as that wine that cost 5,000 that makes me a slave of money. It's the same thing. I'll feel good if I drink Moratina. Yes. I don't have to have that wine that's costing 5, whatever it is. That beer that is being, in other words, we have it all. I'm not encouraging Mira. I'm not even encouraging Moratina, but I'm kind of pinpointing the areas that take a whole lot of our money. And we slave to be able to meet those standards set up by others.
Let's rejoice in our own.
Exactly. So we have things that, I think any other question?
No, but
no.
Me, I'm good.
Okay.
You've spoken about your work, you've spoken about videos. How can people connect with you? Where can people be able to find this work?
Okay, I have actually, that's a very good question. We have done Mau Mau Chronicles because again, we wanted to make our story. So that is, I have personally made a tool, a Child of Two Worlds. That is what I use, and it's in the media, Child of Two Worlds. I also do counseling. Group counseling is what I like because this individualistic is not. Sometimes when people are having from group counseling is what we did traditionally. I am I'm in the eminent panel of a committee for the NEPAD. Again, we are trying also, it's all this integrity we are trying to bring in. So what do I want? I would love for people to contact me as far as organic farming is concerned, and counseling, addressing teenagers. I've also made a video on teenagers and how to do what I was telling you about. So I think I can give you my phone number. I don't know whether that's what you want to do. I'm open. I'm open. At this age, actually, I more want to give my life experiences more so than make the money. I really don't mind because that's what my research says, and that's why you saw me take off my hat, because at the launching of my book, which should be out very cool, I'll have cut off my hair completely as a Nyakenywa. The Nyakenywa job, that last, Nyakenywa job is to share what you have. And some of the interviewees, the one I interviewed, they told me, we cut our hair all out to be able to give it, to show that we can give it to the world. Because the ones down there will pinch you. Will pinch you if you bring anything there. You leave all the wisdom to the world. Now, do you see that connection now? Yes. So I'm more willing to give talks. I'm more willing to talk. If somebody wants me to use petrol, they can give me petrol, but not necessarily payment, which puts people away. Because I have a lot of knowledge at 84, and I don't think I'm going to make another name. And in 2011, I was one of the 6 who got an award in America for doing what I'm doing now. Wow. And for teaching, because my whole thing was teaching African immigrants in order to transit into America, and to teach them that you are not coming here empty-handed. Your people have given you knowledge that you're going to share, and a lot of them have done very well. So they give us an award, 6 of us throughout the US. I was the only Black. And I feel good, that they had benefited, and I would want my own to benefit from some of the things we know, because we are wasting a lot of our professionals who have retired, because we have now known these are the people who maintained our communities in the past, regardless of where they come from. Yes. These are the people who maintained, because they had the wisdom and the life experiences that they shared with the community to be able to retain who they were. Yeah. So I'm excited that is happening, and Yeah, my phone number, I'll leave it with you.
Okay. You
Yeah,
want to say it?
Okay, can you say?
Yes, feel free.
Okay, 0734 698 424.
All right.
And the Safaricom number. It looks Airtel, but it's not Airtel.
It's not 073. It's not Airtel.
It's 0734. I ported it and I didn't want it changed.
Oh.
So I told them, look, I want what I want.
Hey!
Amanyakenywa,
I want
right?
what I want.
Yeah, that's what I want. I'm paying you, so what's your problem?
I want what I want.
Yes, I want what I want, and that's what I will get.
Queen!
So
that's queen energy.
That's queen energy.
Queen energy.
By the way, we have a lot of in Zambia. They have Nziga, Queen Nziga. They have another queen, I think, in Sudan. But we have a lot of queens. Even this Mekatalilis could be a queen, and many others that will never be recognized. But we know them in our communities. And that's really what I'm trying to tell people. Look for them. Those women who are Mother Teresa's, they have served community. In every community you go. And men, I don't want to put down men, but it's women that I would like to
address.
Yes.
You've been a gift to our platform.
Thank you.
You've been a gift to our show. We learned a lot, honestly. I am amazed every single time, even when I heard you watch our work, you watched Mordecai and Mbaria. It feels really good to be able to do these conversations. I've said we do not have to agree, but we have to learn.
Exactly.
We must not agree on everything, but we must be able to learn and pick what we can from these conversations. And it just amazes me that first it was a thought, but now I feel very comfortable doing it. For some reason, I feel like this is what I was supposed to do all along. So I think it's a change keeps happening. You have to keep evolving as a human being.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have met people like you, honestly.
Me too. I would have met you. And I admire you. When I was called by your staff, I said, what? I'm so honored. Because you are doing a great job. Really. I mean, you are a blessing to this country. I have followed you, even interview that young man from Kisii.
Oh.
And I just think it's just so wonderful. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's an honor. For me, it's an honor to sit with people like you.
Thank you.
People who make me go back and say, who am I? You know, people who challenge us, drop the rice, drop all these things. Yeah. We can see what you've been able to achieve just by being who you are. By living in those two different worlds. You're telling us, this is what I believed in, but this is what is the right thing to do.
Exactly.
You have very beautiful energy.
Thank you.
Of course, you said it's the work of the egg and the sperm coming together. You're very beautiful, very gorgeous. As you're teaching us not to see this, but see what's inside. And
absolutely.
that's very, for me, that's my take home, and so many other things. I think when you came in, I said, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. They said, no, that's the work of an egg and that. It's what's here that's impactful. And I can't wait even to see the feedback from our audience and see what other conversation can we be able to have together, because we need this. We are thirsty for this. We've been caught up in a place where we don't know where we are going. We are just existing. We are not living. We are just existing. But now I love that there is hope and people are starting to pay attention to their roots, which is a beautiful journey to be part of. So it's an honor to have you. Even as you leave our platform, hopefully we can be able to see you again and have another conversation. Even as you launch your book, we would love to be part of it, because knowledge is priceless. It's priceless.
Thank
you. You know, and I love that you're putting it in books. I said one thing. They said how to keep that from an African is put it in a book. Now we are reading, and it's bad that now we are reading because tunairevuka. So thank you so much. I think we can wind up unless there's something you want to add. Don't let me take that away from you. If there's a parting shot or maybe something you want to share with our audience before we wind up, feel free, and then we can wind up.
I think you did a very good job, very good summary. The only thing I would like to add more is I couldn't emphasize more, particularly to our leaders, to have integrity and to know that mortgaging our countries, selling even the national resources that we have in this country or the other countries was God-given and is going against God. And there is no punishment worse from the Bible or the Quran that we read than going against your maker. The resources that we have are to serve our people, not other people. And so we must not allow others to come and make us feel so bad about ourselves because we have no identity, to allow them. So integrity in whatever we do, simplicity in whatever we do, it's really what I would like to encourage all people, encourage whoever is living, whatever you are doing, you are not doing it for yourself. You are doing it for the neighbor, you are doing it, first of all, for your children, your neighbor, your country. And that is what I would really like to say, that World Bank is full of Kenyans. Kenyans, we are everywhere. We are serving everywhere because it has money. Money greed has got to end. The Lord God who created us is not looking for a lot of money. He's looking more for our characters. He's looking more for the lives we can change, and not how big, how fat your bank account is. And not all those showy things. They mean nothing. What matters is your inside. And that is what I've seen needed in every sphere of our lives in this country and in America, in Africa together.
Integrity and simplicity.
Yeah, simplicity, humility actually. Humility, integrity and humility, because that's what the characteristics of God. God is generous, is humble, truth, just like ito. The women. Yeah. The women are the ones passing on the truth, passing on the values. So we need to look at ourselves, women, mothers particularly. What value system are we passing on to our children, both boys and girls, so that they do not grow up to be violent? Violence does not help anybody. Women in Kikuyu, that's why they are called their mother Maito. Our truth. Maito. Why? I don't know the other languages, but it's the same. We need to look at ourselves. That's very, very important. In fact, we are queens, we are kings, we are everything big, women. Everything big, because you are the ones who bring this child out. We finish the creation of God. What do we do with that creation? We must teach that creation what is right, what is wrong, to be able to rise up, because the society will move us to any direction. So we must not spend our most important time growing that child only to throw it out
to the world.
To the world.
Yes. Yeah. Humility, integrity, simplicity. Thank you so much. Honestly, I can't wait, guys, to hear your feedback also on the comment section. Once again, it's an honor to have you on the show, and may God bless you.
And you too, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. We are supposed to do like...
No,
you did it the right way at first. So I used to do this with my grandma. What you did at first. Then I'm supposed to put my hand here. No, you're supposed to put...
and you put yours here? Fantastic. Okay, oh my God.
Yes,
thank you.
That way. It's been real. See you guys on the comment section. Leave your feedback, and no matter where you are watching this from, if Tap is available for you guys, send money to your loved ones back in Kenya using that. Give me your feedback also. I really do appreciate it. Get a bonus also if you use my promo code Lynn on the figures on your screen, and it's been good having this show. Tumalize.
Thank you.
God
bless you.
Bless you too.
And praise your work. And this place, as I said, I pour libation from from our ancestors. That's right. I even taught people how to do that.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mom.